Welcome to Chron. If you are a traveler and love nature, then you are in the right place. Please subscribe to us and press the bell icon. When we're traveling, and especially if you're a woman or traveling solo, safety is always a concern. We wouldn't want anything to happen to ruin our holiday. You should be having fun while holidaying, not worrying about what might happen. So what countries are safe for tourists to travel to? Which are the places where you can even roam around in the dead of night if you want, and not be bothered by anybody? Let's take a look at some contenders that don't usually show up in other such lists. But wait, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had any unexpected experiences while traveling that made you feel particularly safe or unsafe? Tell us your stories in the comments section below. These are our picks for the top 30 safest countries to visit in the world. Costa Rica. When we think of the safest countries in the world to travel to, our minds might first go to Europe, especially the Scandinavian countries. But if you're looking for a warmer, more tropical climate, Costa Rica isn't a bad option. When it comes to crime, Costa Rica isn't prone to much except petty theft. So while you've got to be a little careful and keep a lookout for pickpockets, you aren't in any serious danger while in this country. Fascinatingly, Costa Rica is one of the few countries that don't have a standing army. Yes, it was abolished all the way back in 1949. Costa Rica happens to rank 39th on the Global Peace Index. It is by far the most peaceful Latin American country around. And murder and kidnapping aren't something you need to worry about. Places like Cayojita, La Fortuna, and Nozaria are considered very safe for solo female travelers. Serene and full of the abundant natural beauty that Costa Rica is known for, they make for great tropical getaways. If you want the safest spots in the country, look for small coastal towns and keep away from the big cities like San Jose. Tourist hubs like San Jose and Quepos attract more crime. Other than that, the rural areas of Costa Rica are safe for backpackers and regular tourists alike. Just remember to keep your passport safe and don't carry it around with you everywhere. Keep your cash split up in different places and avoid walking around the cities or beaches all by yourself at night. Taiwan. Taiwan happens to be a great place if you're a solo woman traveler. Many such women have reported that they felt very safe in Taiwan as compared to other countries. And why shouldn't they? Given that trains and metro stations usually have nocturnal women-only wait zones, it is clear that they take the question of safety seriously. Even cities like Taipei and Keelung, with their vibrant night markets, make for great tourist destinations for women traveling alone. Where violent and even petty crime is concerned, Taiwan has relatively low rates. People have even reported that they've left their houses unlocked for small periods of time while out on errands without any worries. You can visit the futuristic capital city of Taipei and the historically rich city of Tainan, as well as soak in the natural beauty of the Cayman Islands without facing any harassment. What you do need to worry about in Taiwan are natural disasters. The island nation is prone to earthquakes at least once a month, and seasonal typhoons. Traffic incidents are also a major concern, since road safety in most of Asia is a foreign concept. While the food and water are usually safe for consumption, you might face some danger of food poisoning if you aren't careful. Having said that, with proper precautions, you can enjoy a worry-free trip to Taiwan. Estonia. According to the World Economic Forum, Estonia is officially in the top 20 countries to visit as far as safety is concerned. Its immediate neighbor, Finland, of course, ranks first. However, studies show that Estonia prioritizes tourism and makes an effort to encourage visitors from other countries to travel to Estonia. These numbers aren't always specific, but it's a good indication of just how easy it can be to travel around Estonia as a foreign tourist. If you're a solo female traveler, some of the best places for you to head would be to the charming capital of Estonia, Tallinn, the intellectual and cultural hub, Tartu, or the seaside city of Parnu. Be careful while exploring Tallinn Old Town during the peak of tourist season in summer, since petty crimes like purse snatching and pickpocketing do occur. You might also want to avoid poorly lit street parks or areas like Kopli after nightfall. Credit card fraud or ATM fraud is a problem in parts of Estonia, so you should be careful while using your credit or debit cards. However, violent crime is very rare in Estonia and rarely targeted towards tourists. Public transportation is plentiful in the cities, but can be crowded. If you're taking a taxi, make sure that the meter is on at all times so the driver doesn't get an opportunity to scam you. Czech Republic. Is the Czech Republic safe to travel in? Yes. Studies would show that it's quite safe for international tourists. The Global Peace Index ranks the country as 10th in the world and 6th in Europe. Prague, the capital city, is considered not only to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world, but also one of the safest. Filled with international tourists, the Czech Republic is multicultural and has a thriving economy. The crime rate is low and the accessibility to weapons is limited, which makes the country a safe one to live in and travel in. Additionally, the Czech Republic has excellent hospitals, with hygienic rooms and cheap healthcare. This doesn't necessarily affect tourism, but it is a sign that the country cares about the people. Some of the best places to visit in Prague are the Vltava River, with its beautiful architecture and incredible history, Olomouc in the heart of the Moravia region, and Brno with its impressive fortress and cathedrals. The crime rate in Prague is 0.5 out of every 100 people, which is lower than the country of Sweden. And we all know the capital cities aren't usually the safest, so it says a lot about the Czech people. Tourists have reported feeling safe walking around Prague and Brno even at night, but scams are a problem that you should be wary of. Malta. Small as it is, it's a relatively safe country to visit. The crime rates in Malta are quite low, with very little violent crime. Terrorist attacks are virtually unknown in this small island nation, despite being close to hotspots of unrest like North Africa and the Middle East. Malta also doesn't pose too many health hazards, unlike tropical island countries. If you're looking for a peaceful island vacation where you can laze on the coast, Malta is a good destination to look at. Some places in Malta that you'd be perfectly safe visiting even as a solo female traveler. The capital city of Valletta. The entire city happens to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the seaside town of St. Julian's. If you're looking for a place that's more secluded and quieter, the island of Gozo makes for a nice spot. However, some concerns while traveling in Malta are petty street crimes like mugging, pickpocketing, harassment in certain areas of the cities at night, and theft on the beaches. It would be best not to leave any of your things unattended and to avoid poorly lit areas in the evenings. Safety on the roads might be a concern because there's a lot of reckless driving in Malta. As far as health is concerned, staying hydrated in the hot weather is important, but there aren't any major diseases. Overall, Malta is a safe enough spot to travel to, but you should take some precautions to avoid any possible bad experiences. Luxembourg. This small country in Europe is generally considered a very safe one to visit. Indeed, Luxembourg City is considered by many tourists as the safest capital city to visit in all of Europe. Bounded by Belgium, Germany, and France on all sides, all of which are also quite safe to travel to, Luxembourg has many places to see, and you can walk around to your heart's content. Most solo women travelers say that the crime rates in Luxembourg are quite low. There is a significant police presence in the cities, which can add to the feeling of security when you're traveling all by yourself. You can explore both by day and night, although it's recommended that you be more vigilant after dark. The locals happen to be quite friendly and helpful. Apart from Luxembourg City, cities like Mersch and Wiltz are known for their safety. The levels of street harassment are very low indeed. Public transport is very reliable and well maintained, and the stations are usually well lit and comfortable. Tourists also don't face harassment at the hands of the staff at these places. Additionally, tap water is safe to drink, and there's very little disease in Luxembourg. The country has some of the highest quality tap water in the world because they're extremely strict about water treatment. Qatar. This Arab country has much to offer tourists, from breathtaking architecture, both old and modern, to beautiful landscapes and a vibrant culture. A small country, it gets a lot of foreign tourists, and is called the Pearl of the Gulf for a reason. So if you're thinking of traveling to Qatar, you'll be happy to learn that it's a very safe country for tourists. In fact, according to a crowdsourced database called Numbeo, Qatar might top the list of safest countries to travel to. Yes, it beats out Switzerland, Japan, Singapore, and several Scandinavian countries. That's quite the recommendation. Even the capital city, Doha, beats out most capital cities in the world to place second, along with other Arab cities like Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and Dubai in the top 10. With a strong respect for law and order and surveillance cameras everywhere, a female solo traveler could walk around without any problems. However, you should always dress modestly to respect the culture of the country. The beaches of the coastal city, Coralidad, and the busy streets of Suaquif make visitors and tourists feel just as safe. The United States Embassy says that Qatar is a Level 1 advisory, which means that you don't need to do anything except take basic precautions when visiting the country. Pickpocketing and petty theft are rare, but keep an eye out if you're moving around in crowded marketplaces. It would be best not to keep huge wads of cash in your purse at any time. Belgium. This country, like a lot of European countries, a more or less safe place to visit. Recently, there have been some crimes related to drug trafficking in some of the poorer areas of the Belgian cities. Muggings and petty thefts aren't exactly common, but at the same time not unheard of in the capital city of Brussels. Additionally, Brussels and Antwerp have well-defined red light zones, not the touristy kind that you'll find in Amsterdam. As most people are aware, there have recently been terrorist activities in Brussels, just like in Paris. However, there is a significant police presence in these cities now, and you should generally be safe if you avoid some areas. None of these cities are any more dangerous than the standard European city. No place in the world is completely free of crime, and there's no reason to live in fear. Ghent in particular, with its magnificent architecture and large student communities, is very safe. The people of Ghent are also known for respecting women, and the public transport system is very reliable. Even at night, taxis are widely available and quite trustworthy. Antwerp and Brussels, despite everything stated earlier, rate high on safety scales, and violent crime is rare. They're multicultural hubs, so tourists should find it easy to communicate even if they don't understand French. Smaller towns like Waterloo, Liège, and Genval are also quite safe to visit. Picturesque and charming, they're connected to the bigger cities by a good railway network that you can take without qualms. Germany, of all the major European cities, ranks very high as far as the law-abiding nature of the citizens goes. Munich is generally considered one of the safest cities in the world, but other places like Cologne and Berlin aren't too shabby either. Solo female travelers have noted that harassment on the street is practically zero. A walk around the streets, even after dark, is perfectly harmless. And there are robust emergency protocols on all forms of public transport. Security personnel can be regularly spotted, which goes a long way in making you feel safe. Violent crime isn't a problem in Germany, but if you're visiting the country during large festivals like Oktoberfest, it's best to be careful of your belongings. The fests can get crowded, and events like football matches draw lots of spectators. Pickpocketing can be a concern, but it's easy to dial for emergency services. You can place a free call to 112, Germany places 16th on the Global Peace Index and would probably rank just behind the Scandinavian nations as far as safety is concerned. So if you're planning a trip to see the architectural and natural wonders of Germany, you needn't worry too much. Just take some basic precautions with your belongings and you should be set. Netherlands almost always ranks in the top countries of the world as far as safety is concerned. The Berkshire Hathaway Travel Protection, BHTP, ranked the Netherlands in first place in 2022 and in fifth place in 2023. American travelers rate the country very highly in terms of places they felt safe in. However, that doesn't mean that petty theft isn't an issue in big cities like Amsterdam. Thieves often work in teams to trick tourists out of their possessions. You should always keep an eye on your things. But isn't that the case with travel everywhere? Public transport in the Netherlands is very safe and reliable, but they're also popular with the aforementioned thieves and pickpockets. You might want to be vigilant while traveling on public transport. As far as mugging or scams go, the risk is pretty low. Natural disasters and the fear of illness are really something that you need to worry about in the Netherlands. Terrorism has recently been on the rise, as with much of Western Europe, so you might want to keep your eyes on the situation while planning your trip. Whether you're visiting the bustling cities of Amsterdam and Rotterdam or planning a trip to the charming Nanstad to see the picturesque windmills, you're in good hands. The local communities are generally very helpful and friendly. Eating street food is quite safe in the Netherlands because they're very strict with water treatment. Generally, the damage to tourists' stomachs is because of unclean tap water, which certainly isn't the case in this country. Sweden offers a variety of nature where tourists can enjoy exciting moments on the road. Whether it's dense cities or peaceful countryside, Sweden, shaped by well-developed infrastructure, is preferable for visitors. Stockholm, the capital city, is a medley of the modern era and tradition that appeals to everyone. It is affluent, with rich, neat streets and low crime rates, providing a safe environment to immerse oneself. Visitors may walk along the serene seaside or entirely submerge in the city's cultural events without hesitation. For nature lovers, Sweden's endless wilderness provides competent conditions for outdoor activities without fear of danger. The Swedish Lapland, unmatched by its green nature and northern lights, is the place to reveal the true beauty of nature. Whether hiking or simply sitting in stillness, Swedish nature offers visitors a wilderness experience that is safe at the same time. Sweden is famous for its environment, not only because of its great intactness, but also because of its ecological practices. Guests can have adventures in green buildings and participate in ecological activities, knowing that Sweden values preserving its natural environment. Stockholm's vividness opens the door for travelers wanting to get lost in its scenic beauty. Good infrastructure and an environmentally friendly approach place Sweden among the top destinations for safety, so you can rest assured of having an unforgettable, pleasant time during your visit. United Arab Emirates. One of the safest countries in the Middle East, visitors can find solace in the exuberance of this part of the world in these countries. The UAE is one of the favorite safe haven destinations, with luxuries and calm surroundings with a perfect safe environment to live in. What really brings Dubai, one of the most visited Emirates of the UAE, among other things, besides its magnificent skyscrapers, is its excellent and quality attractions. The hotel population of Dubai is diverse. The world-renowned Burj Khalifa sits alongside the impressive man-made Jumeirah Island. The architecture of Dubai is a classic example of design, thus establishing a safe environment in which the tourists can be sure they will be cared for. Measures of ultimate security take place in the city. The tourists can walk freely through the busy souks irrespective of any security concerns. Guests can explore the lush gardens of the Corniche or enjoy the tranquil beaches that are among the safest on earth. Even more than the luxury of its cities, the UAE's goal of safety extends to its vast deserts and rugged mountains. With trained guides, visitors can participate in escorted desert safaris or camp under the stars while knowing safety protocols are in place. The United Arab Emirates, with its gleaming modern infrastructure and hospitable nature, is among the safest countries to visit, which provides visitors with a truly unforgettable experience in peaceful surroundings. Portugal. Situated in Western Europe, boasts diverse cultural practices and a high level of safety, making it an excellent destination for those who want assuredness. The capital city, the beautiful city of Lisbon, pleases visitors with its old-fashioned cobblestone streets and vibrant culture. From the historical Alfama to the worldly feelings of Chiado, Lisbon is a haven for the whole world. It's a place where visitors can experience the historical sights, taste the traditional food, and enjoy the unforgettable views from its unique miradors, knowing that their security is a top priority. The Portuguese coast has treasures like Algarve beaches, which are among the most stunning in Europe, and are complemented by small charming seaside towns. The beauty of the Algarve is displayed through its crystal clear waters and golden sands, which offer visitors the opportunity to enjoy many recreational activities in a safe and secure surrounding. In addition to its natural attractiveness, Portugal is famous for its good infrastructure maintenance and its functional public transport system, which are helpful for every kind of traveler. One can enjoy exploring the historic sites in Porto and hiking in the lush forests of Madeira without worrying about easy and comfortable movement. Portugal's developed health services and strict safety show its dedication to safety. Visitors can discover the lovely villages and enjoy the local cuisine, while being reassured that it is one of the most vacation-safe places in Europe. Various historical features and the beauty of nature. Travelers enjoy their time in a secure setting. Australia. Known for its amazing natural sceneries and laid-back lifestyle, also has earned a reputation for being the safest country one can travel to. Because of this, visitors are always assured of a secure environment. With its good infrastructural designs and modern transport system that operates on time, Sydney is a secure and comforting place to hang around in. Travelers can soak in its quaint neighborhoods, enjoy the bliss of its exquisite beaches, and sample the finest authentic food at its restaurants without worrying. Melbourne captivates people with its mixed art world and beautiful architecture. From Fitzroy's laneways to Carlton's gardens, Melbourne provides a pleasant and safe harbor for wandering. People can live in the city, in its culture, and buy from the great markets without feeling the threat of danger. Australia's natural wonders extend beyond the city limits and invite adventure seekers from around the globe. The Great Barrier Reef, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, provides unique opportunities for diving and ocean stamp collecting under protective cover. However, tough terrains from the outback to Tasmania and their natural state give tourists unique experiences of enjoying nature, especially within well-managed and secure parameters. This is evidenced by Australia's comprehensive emergency services, high medical standards, and strict safety regulations. Whether sightseeing in its alluring cities or viewing its diverse animal species, tourists have no reason to worry because of how safe this place is. Japan. Well known for its well-preserved culture, beautiful scenery, and taciturn way of dealing with safety issues, is one of the safest places to visit, combining these two inseparable concepts. The vibrant city of Tokyo fascinates visitors with its unique mix of modern outlooks. From the blindingly lit streets of Shinjuku to the tranquil arbors of Meiji-Shrine, Tokyo provides safe coordinates for wandering. The city's well-functioning public transport network, low crime rate, and cleanliness standards allow stress-free movement throughout the metropolis for both locals and foreigners. Kyoto is Japan's cultural and artistic nucleus. The city has a pleasant and serene atmosphere, from historic temples and traditional tea houses to exotic bamboo forests. Visitors can roam the streets of Gion, have tea ceremonies, and find UNESCO World Heritage Sites such as the Fushimi Inari Shrine, where they can feel at least like they are in one of the world's most modern, safe cities. Apart from the busy metropolitan areas, there is ultimate serenity in Japan's wilderness that attracts people longing for the adventure of nature. Japan offers different landscapes within a safe and well-maintained establishment, from the Hokkaido snow cap to Okinawa beaches, both tropical. Travelers can confidently and conveniently walk through lush forests, relax in hot springs, and admire numerous other attractions. One of the most critical aspects of the Japanese approach to disaster management is that the country takes immediate emergency action, installs the strictest building codes, and provides the inevitably needed disaster preparedness measures. Whether people sail down its towns or staffer in rural towns, they can also experience its foods there and have safety and friendliness in mind. The harmonious combination of cultural diversity, natural bounty, and fundamental safety makes Japan the safest place to visit. With its warm-hearted people and peaceful living conditions, travelers can experience an unforgettable and fuss-free time. New Zealand. The country endowed with splendid scenery, friendly people, and strict safety is one of the best destinations in the world, which is worth to travel. It welcomes tourists to a safe and beautiful place. The largest city in New Zealand, Auckland, will capture them with its unique harbor, mouth-watering food, and exciting culture. It has low crime rates, good infrastructure maintenance, and an emphasis on public safety, guaranteeing the safety and pleasure of the tourists who travel to it. Visitors can quickly move about Auckland by visiting the city's gushing waterfront, seeing the famed City Tower, or even traveling to the nearby islands. Queenstown, a town of Lake Wakatipu, and surrounded by majestic mountains, wakes up the adrenaline of adventurers with its stunning waters and extreme activities. Its tight safety regulations and professional guides teach visitors and ensure fun activities in a safe environment. For those who venture beyond the cities, New Zealand's unspoiled nature welcomes discoveries of stunning landscapes and native species in their natural environment. From Rotorua's geological wonders to Fiordland National Park's stunning scenery, New Zealand provides a range of adventures with a secure environment regulated by authorities. It does not matter whether viewers hike through ancient forests, kayak through turquoise waters, or encounter native birds. They will all plunge into the beauty of nature, knowing that they are in safe hands. New Zealand's commitment to safety is evident through its numerous emergency services and a strong focus on ecotourism. Whether or not they admire the country's beautiful highways, sample its world-class champagne, or experience Maori culture, they can be assured that they are in one of the safest countries in the world. Norway. Famous worldwide for its beauty, fjords, and high living standards, is one of the safest places for tourists to enjoy a balance of security and landscape beauty. Oslo, the capital city, first catches the eye with its blend of modern architecture and green spaces. This city offers an effective public transport system and a low crime rate, which makes it safe for travelers. Visiting the Viking Ship Museum or taking a stroll along the serene Aker Bridge, the city's visitors can quickly get around. Bergen, located in the fjords of Norway's west coast, attracts visitors with its delightful, colorful wooden houses and cobblestone alleyways full of seafaring heritage. With its well-preserved architecture and a strong social bond, Bergen is a safe and friendly place for sightseeing. Exploring the cities of Norway is thrilling, but the untouched wilderness may attract solitary nature enthusiasts. One can walk through unspoiled nature and admire plunging waterfalls without fear. The quality of its emergency services and promotion of responsible tourism demonstrate Norway's safety. Whether exploring its dynamic cities or plunging into nature, you will realize that you are landing in one of the safest nations in the world. Singapore. A high-tech city-state, famous for its multiculturalism and focus on order, is one of the most secure destinations in the world. It provides travelers with a perfect mix of security and modern urbanity. Singapore's skyscrapers with shining lights and breathtaking iconic buildings, like the Marina Bay Sands, entice tourists with their inspiring architecture. Thanks to its well-maintained public transport and low crime rate, Singapore guarantees visitors a secure and pleasant time. Tourists can freely wander around Chinatown or the well-known Orchard Road without fear of losing their way. Sentosa Island, Singapore's iconic resort, with a host of attractions for both fun and relaxation, is secured and offers visitors a safe place. Sentosa has all the exhilaration of theme parks and seasides for holidays, with hotels and fine restaurants that offer a buffer zone from the city's busy livelihood. Besides its urban setup, there is also assurance of holidaymakers' safety in the nature gardens and recreational facilities. One of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites located in the Singapore Botanic Gardens. There is never a dull moment here as you stroll through the sprawling grounds, teeming with various plant and animal species. Moreover, the southern ridges provide a leisurely stroll, rarely traversed with the city skyline in the background, in an extremely safe and clean environment under proper maintenance. The devotion of Singapore's government to safeguarding its people goes beyond these few measures. It has efficient cleanliness standards and the ability to provide security measures in advance. Visitors taking a deep breath in the city's green places can feel confident that they are in the hands of one of the top and friendliest beacons in the world. The harmonious combination of modernity, cultural richness, and a secure and peaceful environment makes Singapore a safe destination, if not the safest, where travelers can be in a dynamic and peaceful city. Switzerland. As Switzerland is a symbol of security, Switzerland can be regarded as one of the safest countries to go for traveling. Living-in travelers will enjoy peace and security while they are on their travel adventures. Zurich, the biggest Czech city, preserves well its historical character, along with the urban infrastructure and amenities of modern living. Its perfect public transport and low crime rates make Zurich a city that tourists can enjoy without compromising safety. Whether you stroll through the picturesque old city to explore world-famous museums like the Kunsthaus Zurich, or treat yourself to local goodies in a neighborhood cafe, tourists can quickly get around. Geneva, located on the banks of Lake Geneva, has some peculiarities regarding its urban atmosphere and landscape. With its appealing diplomacy, Geneva is a safe and exciting place for discoveries. Visitors may go through the Lakeshore Walk or discover the ancient old town feeling safe. Switzerland's numerous alpine regions entice nature lovers seeking refuge from the cities in the mountains and forests. Tourists can hike through the pristine wilderness and gaze at the stunning views with a strong sense of certainty. The Swiss regard safety highly, as demonstrated by their vast array of emergency services and first-class healthcare systems. Whether you wander through its buzzing cities or experience its natural side, you can count on being in a safe and friendly country. Iceland, known for its landscapes and assurance of safe travel, distinguishes itself among other destinations as the most secure place to visit, allowing visitors to discover the land of ice safely. Reykjavik, Iceland's capital city, beckons travelers with charming streets filled with color and warm-hearted residents. Reykjavik boasts a meager crime rate and a well-functioning public transportation system, so the visitors will feel safe and enjoy an excellent experience. Whether they are into exploring the art scene or sampling Icelandic cuisine from the locals' eateries, Reykjavik can be accessed with no worries. The Golden Circle depicts Iceland's most famous natural attractions and convenient territory. Whether riding the perfect geysers of Strokar or watching the immense Gullfoss waterfall, tourists can enjoy Iceland's natural wonders with confidence, knowing that safety measures have been put in place to preserve visitors' safety. What lies outside the Golden Circle and Iceland's wild scenery, allowing visitors to discover an exciting world filled with exciting activities and in a safe atmosphere. Be it passing through volcanic landscapes or watching the beautiful northern lights, the adventurers can experience Iceland's extreme beauty with the assurance that it is guided by the operators and the guides who have experience in the local area. Iceland takes safety seriously through its extensive emergency services, stringent environmental regulations, and encouragement of sustainable tourism. Whether it's awe-inspiring terrain or cultural heritage, visitors will be assured of the place's safety and welcome in one of the world's safest and most welcoming destinations. Iceland is among the most secure destinations when one weighs the balance of nature's abundance, cultural wealth, and unbending determination to safety. The sceneries spellbind travelers, and the friendly locals give them a memorable and worry-free trip. Finland, Northern Europe, particularly the Scandinavian countries, has been topping the list of places travelers find safe to visit for years. Not only are they great places for solo women travelers and adventurous backpackers alike to head to, they're also some of the sustainable and most environmentally conscious nations. With very few diseases and ailments to worry about, and a culture of being honest and open, Finland is a good place for anyone who wants to venture out for a trip this year and not worry about anything bad happening. Finland is one of those few countries, even in Europe, where you don't have to worry about pickpocketing. In fact, the people are so honest that they'll even return your lost wallet to you. Seriously, Reader's Digest has conducted tests every year for years now, and Finland always places first. It's one of the least corrupt countries in the world. Other than that, you needn't worry about road accidents or the hazards of public transport. Finns are very good at law and order and following rules. They keep the roads in great condition, and trains and buses are always punctual. Most Finns also speak English very well, in addition to Finnish, Swedish, and German, which makes communication much easier for foreign tourists. The capital, Helsinki, is always a good spot to visit. A mix of modern wonders and beautiful heritage buildings, Helsinki's Chapel of Silence and wonderful architecture awes tourists. Other places, more tranquil, are Utsjoki, where you can get a marvelous view of the Northern Lights, and Inari, the center of Lapland's ancient culture. Denmark, one of the safest countries in the world for you to travel alone. Denmark has a huge mix of natural beauty and charming culture to offer. There is little for visitors to worry about regarding crime, certainly not violent crime. A young woman can walk through the streets of a bustling city like Copenhagen without being harassed. However, you should be a little careful of your belongings in crowded stations and shopping malls, since Denmark, like most European cities, isn't completely immune to purse snatching and pickpocketing. Denmark has a great transportation system, which includes trains, buses, and boats. Thus, it's easy to get around the country, whether you're moving from city to city or visiting the charming countryside. The locals are friendly and communicate in at least basic English, so international tourists can ask for directions or help if they get lost. Additionally, there are several well-known nightclubs in cities like Copenhagen and Aarhus. If you're looking to party, you'll find it easy to make friends with the locals and regulars, but beware of doing drugs illegally. Policemen and narcotics officers in plain clothes are always hanging around to ensure security. Denmark is one of the top countries in the world for gender equality, so women can travel by themselves in this nation. Some of the best places to visit are Copenhagen, Aarhus, Skagen, Frederikshavn, and Hirtshals. You can even stay with locals in their own homes. Austria. Generally a very safe place for people to visit. Whether you're roaming around the historic cities of Vienna and Salzburg or trekking in the Alps, you'll find that there is little to no fear in the way of crime. With breathtaking mountainscapes and verdant forests, Austria is the place for people who like relaxing in the lap of nature. Go skiing there in winter, or swimming in the multitude of lakes without any care in the world. Other than that, they are architectural and cultural marvels in Austrian cities. Vienna is a center of art and music with a long intellectual history, and the locals take great pride in that fact, so they won't bother you or harass you. However, as with most cities, you should be vigilant if you're walking alone in the dark. The second safest city in Austria is generally considered to be Innsbruck, nestled up in the Alps, one of the best destinations for winter sports. It's got both modern and imperial architecture for you to admire. Go to the oldest, lesser-known cities of Austria, like Linz and Alpbach, to look at settlements that are thousands of years old. Crime there is virtually non-existent, and locals welcome tourists with open arms. Known for extremely reliable modes of public transport and very low rates of street harassment or petty thievery, Austria is a great place for tourists. The stations, buses, and trains are well lit, and security personnel patrol regularly. Women travelers report that they feel quite safe in Austria. Canada. In 2024, Berkshire Hathaway Travel Protection, BHTP, took a global survey and ranked Canada as the #1 safest place for tourists to visit. Canada displaced the Netherlands in the first place from last year and climbed to the top spot, since the low population density makes for very low crime rates. With very strict gun laws and friendly citizens, this North American country beats out several European nations as the safest tourist destination. Canada ranked #1 for safety in transportation, health measures, and the safety of women. The biggest thing that those traveling to Canada need to fear is natural disasters like forest fires. Unfortunately, a lot of Canada is full of forest cover, and most of these forests seem to be burning. This has also affected the air quality in some of the Canadian cities. Apart from this, Canada doesn't present any problems for international tourists. And of course, most people speak English fluently, which is a big help. While cities like Vancouver and Toronto are quite popular with travelers, people admire the scenic lake and mountain backgrounds as well as the awe-inspiring skyscrapers. Banff climbs to the top place as the most popular Canadian spot. And no wonder, since it's located in the heart of the Canadian Rockies and houses the Banff National Park, with its turquoise lakes and rich wildlife. All these places are considered to have reliable transport networks with local authorities that are serious about maintaining safety standards. Even petty crimes like pickpocketing are rare. Slovenia. Famous for its mountains and lakes and ski resorts, can also add something else to its list of pros. It ranks among the top countries worldwide when it comes to security, road safety, and medical risks. This is according to Risk World Map that the NGO International SOS released in 2020. In the first and third categories, Slovenia ranks alongside other countries like Finland, Switzerland, Norway, Greenland, Iceland, Canada, and New Zealand. Its road safety flares a little worse than that, but it's still quite safe at just 10 to 19.9 people killed in car accidents for every 100,000 people. The Global Peace Index also places the Central European country very high, a country that pays attention to health standards and eco-friendly development. The most common crime in Slovenia is petty theft, and that's not too common itself. You can be quite safe if you just keep an eye on all your belongings while traveling, and do not carry large sums of cash on you. Hotels and bed and breakfasts are usually very helpful in storing your valuables and cash, and they will guide you when you ask for advice on the best places to visit as well. Visit towns like Maribor and Ljubljana for cultural festivals, concerts, and a vibrant nightlife with zero concerns about your safety. While there are licensed guides available at most tourist places. You can also approach a local if you ever find yourself lost. They're always willing to help and very kind to travelers. Slovenia also has very strict regulations about food and water, so there's little concern about falling sick from eating in Slovenia. Ireland. This small island nation happens to rank very highly among countries that are safe for tourists. The Global Peace Index ranks it the third safest country in the world. based on the level of crime, corruption, and violence in the country. Not only is it one of the safest countries to travel to, but it's also one of the safest countries to live in. It is also one of the safest countries for solo women travelers. All of this is due to the Irish way of living, their value for strong human connections and mutual respect. Crime rates in Ireland are generally low and terrorism is virtually non-existent. This means that you can enjoy the historic cities, breathtaking views, and charming countryside to your heart's content, without worrying about the safety of yourself and your belongings. However, one thing you might have to be careful of while wandering around Ireland is the weather. Sudden rainstorms aren't unheard of, and the country lanes can be tricky to navigate in such weather. Cell phone reception might be too spotty in turbulent weather. If you're sticking to the tourist hubs instead of wandering off the beaten path, the cities of Dublin and Galway have a lot of rich cultural heritage to offer. Castles that date back centuries, rows of colorful houses, beautiful cathedrals, and lively bars make for a very fun trip. The enchanting town of Killarney, meanwhile, shows off Ireland's not inconsiderable natural beauty and wildlife. Spain. The Mediterranean country is a dream destination for many travelers, and you'll be happy to know that it ranks highly where safety is concerned as well. Since Spain receives so many tourists throughout the year, their safety is of major concern to the authorities. Thus, even a woman traveling alone should feel quite secure while wandering around cities like Barcelona and Madrid. Full of international tourists, these cities often feel quite cosmopolitan, and you'll be able to get around even without much knowledge of Spanish. Petty theft and pickpocketing is a concern, of course, but it's the rare city where that isn't the concern at all. Trains are efficient and well-connected and are the ideal way of getting around the country. Whether you're traveling from one city to another or going for short day trips, daytime journeys are better for women traveling alone, but the stations are generally well lit and busy. The same goes for buses. If you're opting for a taxi, make sure it's licensed and has a meter. It's best to approach your hotel for help to book taxis. And of course, many areas of the major cities have pedestrian zones and are easily walkable. Apart from Barcelona and Madrid, other top places to visit are Valencia, the birthplace of paella, Seville with all of its Moorish influences in flamenco shows, and the often overlooked Granada. If you want to head to the beach, Mallorca is a great choice. South Korea. Unlike its northern neighbor, South Korea ranks as one of the safest countries in the world, with very low crime rates and excellent medical infrastructure. South Korea happens to be one of the most developed countries in Asia. Numbeo, decided based on a public poll, ranked Korea the safest country in the world in 2016. The government of South Korea values tourists and thus takes strict measures to ensure their safety. The safest place to visit in South Korea is Jeju Island. Just off the coast, Jeju has brilliant waterfalls, dense forests, and many volcanic rock features that make it a fascinating place to visit. With efficient bus service and freedom to walk around alone at night, even for female tourists, Jeju is full of helpful locals. They are respectful and friendly, and street harassment is virtually unknown. The Korean people value guests highly and wouldn't dream of being disrespectful towards them. The bustling city of Seoul is a must-visit, located as it is in the serene hills along the Han River. An enchanting blend of modern and traditional, Seoul has a thriving music and cultural scene. Don't miss out on Sokcho either, which serves as the gateway to a spectacular national park and has both white sand beaches and bustling local markets. Hungary. Hungary is by and large a safe place for tourists from all over the world, and its security threat is very low indeed. In 2017, in the wake of multiple terrorist attacks, Daily Star prepared a list of the safest places in the world for British citizens to go. Hungary ranked 9th on that list. Having said that, the risk of getting pickpocketed is quite high in cities like Budapest, so it's best to remain vigilant while roaming around the city, especially in crowded areas. Keep your passport and most of your cash locked up in your hotel rooms instead of carrying it around on you. The city of Budapest is the most well-known place to visit in Hungary. It's filled with architectural wonders like the UNESCO World Heritage Site Buda Castle, the Parliament Building, which happens to be one of the largest parliament buildings in the world, and the iconic Fisherman's Bastion. However, some not-so-well-known spots are near Kaza in northeastern Hungary and Agtalek in northern Hungary. Well lit and full of friendly and helpful locals, there's no reason why you shouldn't be perfectly safe in these cities. If you're a solo female traveler, avoid less frequented roads and dark lanes at night. But otherwise, whether it comes to transportation, road safety, or health, Hungary is good for tourists. Croatia. Not the most well-known in terms of European countries for tourism, Croatia nevertheless has much to recommend it. One of those is safety. Croatia ranks high on the Global Peace Index at 14th place, and the US State Department gives it a Level 1 travel advisory. This means that petty crimes are rare, and you need to exercise basic caution while traveling in Croatia. 14th might not seem that high, but it is when 163 countries in total are being considered. A recent study that listed how safe people feel when walking around at night in Europe placed Croatia in first place, followed by Slovenia and Iceland. Even a crime such as pickpocketing is a much lower rate than some of the Western European nations like France and Italy. Solo women travelers should generally be safe, but it's best to take advice from your hotel on which areas to avoid. It's best to book taxis that are properly licensed or ask your hotel to book one for you. Public transport such as the bus is reliable and well-maintained mode of transportation. The city of Dubrovnik is considered one of the safest cities for solo female travelers in the whole world. Known as the Pearl of the Adriatic, the Dubrovnik Old Town is simply stunning. The capital, Zagreb, while beautiful, doesn't rank in the top 3 safest places in Croatia, but the cities of Split and Zadar do, just after Dubrovnik. And there you have it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Ever been to any of these safest places? If you enjoyed this video, show us some love by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more awesome content in the future. See you in the next video.